Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I think we've just witnessed Usyk win the fight and kind of make, in the nicest way possible, Dubois look like a little bit of a bitch. Like, Usyk took complete control of that weigh-in. Um, First, they get on stage. They both weigh in from each corner. Dubois up first. He weighs in at 243.8 pounds. Usyk is next at 227.3 pounds. That Usyk weight is a pound and a half more than the second Tyson Fury fight. But it's sort of standard. I expected him to be in and around there. Some people were saying, is he going to go back to his sort of normal 222 pounds? But I wouldn't be surprised if he's got that extra 5 pounds of just a little bit of padding to ensure he can, especially those body shots, take a little bit better. An extra 5 pounds is not going to slow him down, but it is going to maybe help him absorb the shots a little bit. But during this weigh-in, after they've weighed in, they do the face-off, and Dubois cracks first. Usyk stares him down. No movement, no blinking, just he's like stone. Dubois started to fidget a little bit as it went going on, and then he turns to the crowd and does his little flex to the crowd. And then I was surprised by this. Usyk then turns around and basically pushes Dubois out of the way, steps in front of him, and flexes in front of the crowd. And I think that was a big move because Dubois acquiesced. He just sort of let it happen. He didn't do anything back. And then we saw him sort of loitering behind Usyk as Usyk ran the show. Usyk then goes to walk off, as I think Dubois went to do almost a shake of hands. He didn't walk straight off. He sort of stood there and faced Usyk and watched Usyk turn his back on him and walk off over to his side of the stage. Dubois then follows suit. He stands over on his side. And I found this just as interesting. I think we saw the two very different demeanors of these two characters. Dubois gets interviewed first, and he says he's going to win by any means necessary. It's going to be the Dubois show. It's Dubois' night. They then go over to Usyk, and Usyk says is a great opportunity, and he's doing it for his people, his country, and for Jesus Christ. I think that was just two polar opposite interviews, and I've heard him a few times now in the lead up to this fight, when Dubois is there talking about it's his time, he's going to rock the world, he's going to take those belts, he's going to destroy Usyk, and Usyk's there talking about how he's carrying his country with him. And I think that is a scary statement when you have a man there like Usyk. They're doing it for his whole country and his people. And I think we've seen now what I think we're going to see on fight night, and that is Usyk taking complete control. We've seen Usyk probably in a lot of videos messing around, he's dancing, he's having fun, but this week it's not like that. He's flipped a switch, and to be honest, it's actually put me sort of back to how I was originally thinking this fight was go, that Usyk's gonna destroy Dubois. I think he's just too good, isn't he? The age is not going to be a factor, I don't think, and mentally Usyk looks right there. And I think the other thing is Dubois has spent this week, and his team has spent this week, and his team's probably spent since the time this was made, having a go at Usyk, having a go at his team about the first fight, and now about now, yelling, screaming, telling them exactly what they're going to do to him. And Usyk's just calm, composed, and I think we're going to see him really put Dubois in his place. We even saw Dubois' team and Usyk's team fighting and arguing out the back of Wembley. It was Box Park that they were doing the weigh-in, so it was just outside of there. Bit of exchange of words, trying to start a fight out there. and I think this is going to. I think it's probably going to rile up Usyk, but Usyk doesn't get riled up emotionally. I think he's just going to become even harder to beat. He's going to have all this lead up fueling him in this fight, and I think the one thing you don't want to do to Usyk is give him fuel. You want him in this fight sort of least interested as possible. You're not going to crack him emotionally. You're not going to get Usyk starting to throw wild punches like you might have been able to do with Anthony Joshua in the lead up with that. I would say he's not as composed as an Usyk is. Usyk is just too good at this. He's been doing it for so long. He's so experienced. Um, and you know what else? I think we're forgetting. Like throughout this whole lead up, all I've been hearing is Dubois' run in, um, and Dubois' age. And the run in for Dubois is very good. Miller Hergovic and AJ. But are we forgetting that the run in for the other guy is Fury twice, Dubois once, AJ twice? That is phenomenal. And I do think Dubois is very confident. I think he's very I think he knows he can do it. And I think everybody knows that he can do it. He can. It's not 0%. He can do it. And I think his experience now at Wembley Park will help him. He's got some good memories there. He's made that walk. The nerves won't be there as much. But I hope that that confidence that he's got is pure confidence and not a mask to hide the anxiety of what he thinks is going to come. If you know what I mean, it's not false confidence. He actually believes what he's doing and saying. He obviously did against Anthony Joshua, but I think Usyk is a whole another task. And the fact is, Dubois versus AJ was a one-off fight. Dubois versus Usyk is the second one in which Dubois lost the first. All right, so that covers the weigh-in. I want to talk a little bit about Isaac Cruz because his fight against Angel Fierro was cancelled. Angel Fierro has been forced to withdraw from Saturday's rematch with Isaac Pitbull Cruz, sources told the Ring's Mike Coppinger. Fierro headed to hospital for observation after the health issues encountered were during his weight cut. So, no Angel Fierro for Isaac Cruz. They have found him an opponent though. Alright, Isaac Cruz will now be facing Omar Salcedo in a 10-round bout for the WBC interim super lightweight title. Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing that we're not going to see the rematch. The first fight was very good. I still think Isaac Cruz would have stopped Angel Fierro, but we will not know now. Angel Fierro's trainer has come out with a statement. I want to start off by apologizing to all the fans that made the trip to Vegas, to Pitbull and his team and everyone involved in the fight. I made the decision this morning to not allow my fighter, Angel Fierro, to cut any more weight and instructed our team to take him to hospital. I have a responsibility not only to prepare my fighter, but also to keep him safe. A few last pounds were going to be dangerous. Look, I can understand that because I think we give, to be honest, if he knew that he wasn't going to make weight, he probably knew he wasn't going to make weight 2 or 3 days ago, and that would probably been the appropriate time to pull the fighter out. Luckily, they have found an opponent, so Pitbull won't be just sat on the sidelines for no reason. I do like the fact that they didn't waste time. Sometimes we see the fighter 3 or 4 pounds over, like we saw recently with Keyshawn Davis, get on the scale, and it's like, what are you doing, buddy? You're wasting everybody's time here and everybody's patience because you're nowhere near making it. What are you doing? And they probably should have pulled him out a few days because if he was so far over the weight that he still had to cut a few more pounds to make weight, means within the week they would have known he wasn't making weight. So I'm not sure what's happened there. But they probably should have looked into saying, hey, we're not going to make it. Look for an opponent in case. Maybe they did. Maybe they did, and that's how they found the opponent so fast. All right, guys, that is all of the news for today. like I said, I think this is going to be the Usyk show. I think he showed um, a menacing side today. And I think he made Dubois look like a little bit of a bitch the way he sort of pushed him out of the way. Hey, I'm the king here. I've got the belt. You just sit in your place sort of attitude from Alexander Usyk. I like it. I think it has probably swayed my opinion of how this fight's going to go even more in Usyk's favour. Look, it's always going to stay the same. Dubois wins this fight if he lands that shot. The problem is Usyk is a very, very, very hard person to land that shot on. I don't want to hear any more about this fucking low blow shit. Move on, to be honest, move on. This fight will finally put that to rest, as long as no questionable calls have been made. To be honest, we've now seen Usyk, basically his last 3 fights, all be questionable. Questionable to who? Varies. Obviously, Tyson Fury fans and Tyson Fury himself believe that Tyson Fury won those 2 fights, and Daniel Dubois' team and lots of Daniel Dubois fans believe that Daniel Dubois was robbed of a victory. Most fans that are sort of got no hat in the ring or are Usyk fans believe that Usyk won those clearly, all 3 of them, and I believe that as well. I think the shot was low, and I think Tyson Fury was beaten in both fights. The second one more comprehensively than the first one. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Alright guys, leave your thoughts in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and I'm out here. See yous.